I think you guys all held together.
All right, everyone, we're going to get started with our city council candidates. I want to thank them for taking time out and joining us tonight. It is a Tuesday, right before the election, and it's tough, so thank you. Just like with the mayor, we did invite the city council to come. They also were not able to make it. I'd like to introduce Lauren Brady. Marlon Mahone. And Louis Segarra. The current city council members that are up for re-election are Vivian McKenzie, Patricia Riley, and Kathy Talbot. I am disappointed that they couldn't come, but we are lucky to have these three with us. So I'm going to let Sophia get started. If you haven't had one of Fabiano's cookies yet, I suggest you do, because I'm taking the rest home with me.
I just had my first.
Of many.
So I'll expect a delivery. You're going to find me.
Also, I just want to add, you may hear some of the same questions that you've heard already, because some of the questions for the mayor were also being asked of the city council, so it's not a mistake.
All right, thank you, Rachel, and thank you to you three for being here. I'm going to jump right into the hot topic for the South Side for us, and that is regarding the homeless shelter. Do they have plans for a better, though not larger, place for this? Do you feel that a shelter in Peekskill should stay in Peekskill, or do you think that Peekskill should take the homeless from other Westchester counties? Thank you.
Everything that Vinny said, I agree with. Thank you for having us here. It's been some long days, so excuse me if I sound a little tired, but never tired enough to come here and talk to you guys. But do I believe Peekskill should have a homeless facility? I do. But they should really support the people from here from Peekskill, not bring everybody in, and not make it a profit center, which it seems like what they're trying to do. I always believe that when you come into a community, you have to sit down with the community, get their thoughts, their concerns, and work with them to make everything work for both sides. That wasn't them. They just came in here, they knocked your door down, they said we're building, and had no consideration for the people here, their safety, and any other issues they have. Now, I agree that they said there was no concerns of safety. I think there was. They said there's no concerns with the roads and people getting hit, even the residents that would be living there. I think there are. They said bus stops weren't close to the area. When I filmed Up and About, we showed where the bus stops were. There's a house maybe 10 feet from where the facility would be, so people can see right into their property and take away their security. So I think they went about it the wrong way. You've got to respect people, where they live. When you guys moved into the area, a lot of you know what it's zoned for. And when they change the zoning on you, that's not fair to you. So I definitely agree, it should be in Peekskill. It shouldn't be as big as they want to make it. It shouldn't be a profit center. And I think the community must be first and foremost in making all those decisions. Thank you.
Do you guys want to add anything?
Oh yeah, it's too loud. Well, we had discussed before this, since it's the three of us, and you've heard a lot from Vinny, as a team, we really do agree on most things. We of course want you to hear from all of us as well, and I just want to thank you all for coming out. When it comes to that, I know some of you here, not all of you, that none of us don't want to take care of our citizens in need, and I don't think that was an issue at all. I think it was how it was done. So we do agree that, the shelter here is valuable to the people who need it, and we should have one. We just want to make sure it's done the right way. It really had nothing, I think we all agreed, to do with homeless people or the homeless shelter itself. It was how the issue was dealt with. And going forward, if the discussion continues, it's something that the is, you know, the whole city can be involved in, but especially the communities that you're looking at. Everybody should have a voice here. You want everybody's, the first priority for me and for us is everybody's safety and well-being and feeling safe. And it should always be an open discussion, but we always want to take care of our citizens too. I mean, we're all, what is it, one paycheck away, and everybody, we want to be able to be helped if possible, so.
So I'll do my best going forth in the evening to try not to sound repetitive. So as a community member here, yes, I do believe that Peekskill needs a homeless shelter to take care of our own. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to any one of us, and any one of us could find ourselves in that situation tomorrow. Having said that, as a member of the council, and hopefully serving with Vinny, I do believe that we have two responsibilities in that position. Number one, to evaluate the merits of moving the homeless shelter to any location in Peekskill based upon the merits of that proposal and the code, the coding, right, that's related to the area that it would be moved in. And number two, kind of going back to where this community was a year ago with the issues and the poor management of how they were going about it. I do believe that the council and the mayor and City Hall has a responsibility to the community to bring people together to the table when those issues arise and you find yourselves in those circumstances versus taking a side and then alienating the community from City Hall.
Thank you for your 3 answers. On to the next question. If elected, how will you handle Dunbar Heights' ongoing problem, and what will you do about the housing board?
Thank you. Dunbar Heights, the voices of Dunbar Heights. The reason we got that name, the reason they put it out there was because they were being ignored. As many times as they came up to the podium to speak about their issues, they continued to be ignored, just like Safe and Strong. One things I would definitely do is first deal with the management of who's overseeing the properties. That's going to be a little different than the housing board itself. The voices of Dunbar are saying, we don't like the management. They disrespect us, they don't fix our apartments properly, and they just do whatever they want. They come in and they go out when they want. But that has to be addressed. They have to be measured and seen if they're being they're maximizing what they can do for the best of the residents. I don't think that's happening. So the first thing is to get them straight, because you just can't go in there and say, well, I'm going to get rid of everybody without really knowing what's going in there. So you have to go in there, check all things out, making sure they're following their rules and regulations and doing all the right fixes for the apartments. That's the first and foremost. Second thing is to go to the Housing Authority Board and let them know that the residents are unhappy. And what are they going to do about it? Unfortunately, right now, everything is about who do you know, who's running with you, and who's supporting you. That's not how we think Dunbar Heights should be run. You have to get the people who are not only caring, knowledgeable, and can do the best job for the residents. They are the most vulnerable we have in this city, and we have to do our due diligence and do the best we can to make sure they're covered. The fact that they didn't have cooking gas, they didn't have heat, hot water, and no one called an emergency about it, you know, that tells you where their mentality is and what's the most important thing to them. You'll see them on Facebook posting about everything else, but you'll hear them about what they're doing for the community and the residents. So, would I get rid of the housing authority? There is some that I would get rid of. I would analyze each one to find out which one is best for the community, which has been doing a good job, and those that aren't, well, they need to be replaced.
Anyone else like to answer?
I mean,
No problem. No, if you agree, you agree. That works. All right. This one is from earlier, but we'll read it again for you guys. When will the city decide to do a citywide property reevaluation for taxes? Time for everyone to pay their fair share. I pay more for garbage pickup than someone on Smith Street. What will you do about it? So again, the question is, when will the city decide to do a citywide property reevaluation tax?
You know, on this one, I think maybe either we all agree or we can answer it individually. I do agree with Vinny's position on this. I don't think that we need to do a real evaluation citywide. I think we need to find ways to make sure that the money that's being spent on the services that the city provides is being well spent in an efficient way, and also finding new ways to increase the tax base here in Peekskill without taxing incrementally the citizens who live here and own houses here today. So in terms of a citywide reassessment, I'm not in favor of that.
Thank you. All right, another question. Recycling cardboard and paper more than once a month. Can it be done more than once a month?
To tell you the truth, on that question, I don't know. It's what our budget's gonna let us do, what we can do. Right now, they'll tell you, we have a great budget, everything's great, but I don't see that happening. When we're selling a building to the school for $250,000, I don't think we have money. So, can we do all the great things we want to do? Well, first we have to go in there and fix that budget. Manage that budget properly to where we have the funds to do the more than once weekly pickups, to make sure DPW has the right amount of people they need to clean up our streets, our parks, and everything else they do. And I believe with the community involvement, so I'm going to go off a little bit because Benny did a great job in answering that, but community involvement and working with the DPW to make sure that we have cleanup days and things like that, because the community, especially Safe and Strong, they want to do great things. They're not sitting around just waiting for things to happen. They are taking the initiative. So they want to have their cleanup days, and DPW will work with them hand in hand to make sure they have the things they need, whether it's garbage bags, whether it's the pickup of the garbage. They're there to help. We just got to let them know what we need. But I just can't tell you whether we can do all the pickups every other day. Just like that, it would be wrong of me to say we can do it. I'm a budget person, I'm a numbers guy, I gotta look at the numbers, and I'm gonna be honest and transparent with everyone and tell you what we can and what we can do, but how we're gonna get there moving forward.
Well, while I agree, I'm just going to add in, so we did lose our head of DPW, as Vinny had spoken about, and why right now we couldn't add more garbage. We actually have somebody running the water department and the DPW right now, and that's how they've chosen to go. So if you have one person, it went from 2 different people, you have one person running both departments. Of course, the simple answer would be, actually, we can't add that in. To start though, we'd like to do these simple initiatives where it's back to free Saturday drop-offs. You're not paying that fee, so that you have every week. I mean, I know I go crazy, everybody orders offline and stuff, then you have the boxes, then you fill up 1 container, 2, and it seems like it's getting further. There's less, as Vinny mentioned as well, less bulk pickup. When you have to really look at all of this, there is an issue with some garbage on our streets. What are ways that we can, one, before adding more staff, which we do need, 100%, but what are ways that we can work with the community and make those simple changes like that Saturday drop-off? Maybe if we do add in just another bulk trash, and are we able to do that to really work with each neighborhood and each resident to make sure we have cleaner streets and continue that and build forward to give more services?
Thank you. Good on that question? And there's another great question here. So as a middle-class, 4th-generation resident and homeowner, I would be interested in knowing how the city will manage to bring all city service departments to full staff and add an additional staff, giving the hundreds of new apartments approved and being built or currently pending approval without taxing a homeowner like me out of Peekskill.
Another tax question. So, while Lewis is the numbers guy, I like to look at data. So I would say there's 2 things here. Number 1, we need to look at the pilot program that we afford to the developers here in Peekskill and make sure that those are being optimized in favor of Peekskill, such that we can contribute once again to add more money to our tax base as we have an influx of new residents here who will need the additional services, garbage, police, fire, and ambulance. There's nothing wrong with the pilot programs, but I think we do need to take a hard look and reevaluate the % discount that they're getting and the number of years that they're paying it. The second thing, and we've talked about it, is the commercial development. Again, how do we get more taxable income to the base here without that being through our property taxes? And I do believe that we have a few good ideas that we can't share right now on how to do so. And it's about really looking at the real estate and the opportunities across the city, not just downtown, and optimizing the types of businesses that we're attracting here to Peekskill from a commercial perspective.
Thank you very much. And then if there's no other questions floating on paper out there, this is our last question for the council, running council. All right, would you support the creation of a quality of life committee? The quality of life committee identifies critical code enforcement, housing, and cultural and recreational issues facing the city.
Hope you don't mind, I'm gonna move away from that, because Vinny did a great job doing that, and I want to touch on other things. I know we don't have a lot of time. But I know recently we called upon a environmental or climate emergency. If someone says to me, Louis, I have a climate issue, it gets my attention. Someone says, Louis, I have a climate concern, you really got my attention. If you say to me, we have a climate emergency, I'm stopping everything I'm doing, and I'm making sure we deal with that. But what this administration did is they passed a symbolic resolution which did absolutely nothing to help the cause. They did not bring up what we need to do is start building clean, efficient, environmentally buildings. They said nothing about that. They didn't speak about how we're going to promote and get our green fleet through Peekskill faster. Nothing. They didn't talk about our cab drivers, how we should start getting new permits, that they have to have a hybrid all green cars in order to get their permits. We do anything. Then they go about, well, before that, they went to Westchester Power, where they forced everybody to go on a plan, an ESCO, that they really didn't understand what they didn't want. And now, from what I'm hearing, everyone's paying more. Well, why are you putting that on me? Yes, I did get the libertarian endorsement, and part of that is making sure that the government stays out of our business and doing things that we choose as a community, as a city, to go forward, not they decide for us. We also had our Honeywell contract, another big fiasco. They just don't understand what they're doing. Their CAC told them, we need more time. They didn't pay attention to them. The ex-mayor, who's big on green, told them, doesn't make sense. The windows you're trying to put in the historic buildings does not make sense and it will not work. Well, they knew better. I don't know which one of them knows better, but they all knew better. And today, the windows that they designed are not going to work. We got to get new windows, and it's going to cost us more money. So when they say it's only costing us $230,000, well, the numbers start working again against us. So it's good to know that we have a committee, a council, that's supposed to advise us, but we have to start listening. And we have to have people there that really know what they're talking about. Bullet points are not good enough. They're not going to get us to the next level. We need experienced people and know what they're doing and can look at the realities of what can be done and when we can do it. Thank you.
Can I open that up to you guys?
We can, or she said, or final comments, so now she just changed the game. So I guess I'll do a little bit of both. So it kind of piggybacks on what I just said is before with our services and stuff. So quality of life committee, you said, correct? We do have a lot of committees in City Hall. There is a lot of committees, and I think it's going to take a nice look at seeing what committees there are, and what are they doing, and who's working on those committees, and are all those jobs being done before we just throw in another one? And where should we mix committees, and where should another one be created? And then if you do create one, which is fine, you know, the more people involved in working with the city that are helping, that are giving community help and free assistance is amazing, and we need as many eyes and ears on the city and all the issues as possible. But again, I think we want to make sure that we're covering all of the aspects of that. I know during the Peekskill Community Congress they wanted to do like a code enforcement committee, because we actually didn't have a code enforcement officer for a number of years. And people are looking to help. So we never want to turn away our community members that are looking to help. because as we talked about today, we talked about taxes and everything costs money. So we want to make sure we're bringing in everybody. So I think I definitely would be open to that. I won't give you long closing comments. I just want to, again, thank you guys. To add on to Vinny, when you guys started, when the issues happened here on Washington Street, it was a major part of my decision to run because with not even being on one side or the other, I just couldn't believe I was in a city that I grew up in and I love, that two sides of the city were literally fighting each other on a daily basis and nobody was standing up to do anything. The people who were voted in to represent our city literally just said, well, it's not on our table yet. But I'm like, there's an issue here. And I don't feel like we can just sit back and let those things happen. We really have to be constantly fighting for you. Even if it's not on the page, there's people arguing, and you have to sit down with these people and try to figure out. And I think that's something we're really here for. We want to listen to every single person. You know, we can't make everything right for every person, but it's all about looking at all sides of an issue and coming to a compromise and doing what's best for each neighborhood and our community as a whole.
So I'll just add two things in terms of quality of life. So again, I do agree with Lauren. I don't know if we need another committee. I think here's what we need. I think we need a properly staffed city hall. So let's first staff. Let's first get the right number of code enforcement officials in place. Second, let's start working with our community again. Let's start working with the organizations such as Safe and Strong. Let's find your peers in the other areas in Peekskill. You guys are the eyes and ears on the ground in your community. And with a committee that sits in City Hall, they're not going to be out there, right, living in your neighborhoods, walking your streets, driving your roads to identify the quality of life issues that need to be addressed. So if we once again bring civility back to City Hall, where they're listening to the community, and with the right staff, I think we can start addressing some of these quality of life issues. The second thing is, I think we need to find a way for people to report issues in an anonymous way, right? There are things that you see that you may not want necessarily tied back to your name and your person, but it's of concern. So I think we need to create that medium in City Hall where we can get an anonymous tip and then take action upon it. The third thing, final thing is, I do believe that we've referenced a lot of what Vinny has said, right, prior to us this evening. But we really do share a lot of the same ideas and passion for Peekskill. And we do really believe that we formed a team where we bring a variety of experiences that, when put together, there are going to be very few challenges here in Peekskill that we are not going to be able to work through together as a team and with you, the members of this community. So I thank you for having us here this evening. Thank you for being here. And we hope that on October 26th through November 3rd, sometime in between there, you find the time to go out and vote. Vote for the Vesey team, and let's bring Peekskill back together.
Louis, Lauren, Marlon, thank you guys very much. Vinny, thank you very much. And everyone who showed up, thank you very much.
And thank you to Devin for handing out the cake. So everybody finish up the desserts, have some cake. Don't touch those cookies. And we will see you all over at Kyle's.
And vote!
And don't forget to vote. I just want to add, if anybody knows of senior citizens or anybody who has a hard time getting to the polls, I am offering up car service. I can pick people up, so please just reach out to me. I will make arrangements.
One other thing on that, we will have, as the time gets closer, especially to election day, reach out to our campaign through Facebook, email, any one of us, call us if you need to, or get a hold of you guys. We will have transportation as well.
So the Vesey team will be putting together transportation on election day.
Specifically on election day.
Specifically on election
If they
day.
need a ride, we'll get,
But if you need
For
a
early
ride to
voting,
speak,
we'll take
call
you.
me, I'll have Lauren come and get you.
So Warren is offering to come pick people up as well. So you can reach out to Peekskill Safe and Strong, peekskillsafeandstrong@gmail.com, or reach out to the Bessie team. Woo!
thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Wait,